If you are wondering which herbs and supplements might help with your brain fog, you're in the right place. Let's dive in. First and foremost, I have to say choosing the right supplement is going to be very dependent on what the cause of your brain fog is. So there are many causes. I have a video all about it. Common causes are things like stress, lack of sleep, poor nutrition, chronic infection, autoimmune diseases, inflammation, or even things like previous injuries such as concussions or recovering after a respiratory infection. So again, in deciding which of the many supplements is going to help, it's going to be very dependent on what your issue is, which is why I always recommend that you work with a healthcare practitioner, a health coach, a nutritionist, etc., etc. Let's break these down into some common categories, and I do have more in-depth videos that will talk about dosages for each of these supplements. So the first category are antioxidants as well as mitochondrial support. Many times with chronic stress, we get oxidative damage or oxidative stress, which antioxidants and supporting the mitochondria can be very helpful in rectifying. So this is going to include things like glutathione. Glutathione is great because it can be taken orally, IM, IV, or even nebulized. It's going to include things like alpha lipoic acid. CoQ10 is another great mitochondrial support, and even vitamins such as vitamin A and vitamin C. Again, you need to be careful with your fat-soluble vitamins such as vitamin A because they can become toxic if you take too much of them, which is again why I always recommend you work with a practitioner. Now, let's jump into things like anti-inflammatories. The king of this category is going to be your omega-3 fatty acids, and more specifically, making sure that they contain EPA and DHA. This I often see very helpful when your body is inflamed. Again, I generally will use some sort of testing to see if there is an inflammatory process happening because I like to test and not guess and actually save time and money by getting to the root cause of things. So when using this is generally going to be like your fish oils, and dosages are going to be in the higher 1 to 3 type gram ranges. And again, making sure you're getting that good balance of EPA and DHA. I often see inflammation being a problem when the diet needs to be changed, when you're eating a lot of inflammatory foods. So fried foods, sugary and processed foods are the most common culprits here. And of course, there are other reasons for total body inflammation. So things like other autoimmune conditions is often a big factor here as well. The next category are adaptogens and other neurotropic herbs and supplements. Now, this one usually comes into play when sleep is an issue, fatigue is an issue, and a lot of times cortisol is out of whack. So this is going to include your adaptogenic herbs, so herbs like ashwagandha, rhodiola, and even bacopa. All of these are great adaptogens. Bacopa specifically is also a great neurotropic. It helps to increase the circulation around the brain. All of these have often been shown to help with cognition and memory. Make sure that you are taking the right form of the herb and that you are taking it at the right time of day, as some of them can be stimulating and prevent you from sleeping. And the last category I want to talk about are just regular vitamins and minerals. So in this category, I'm going to include the B vitamins. So not just your B12, you also need what would be included in a B complex. So you got your B1, your B2, all your different types of B vitamins. When we are stressed out and when we are burned out or have difficulty concentrating, a lot of times you are burning through your B vitamins. So this is another really important category. And again, that's something I often see really commonly when I'm doing functional testing. And the other mineral is magnesium. Magnesium is such an interesting mineral. It is used in so many different metabolic reactions. It's often a cofactor or kind of used as an enzyme, meaning that if it's not present and if it's not present enough in a great enough quantity, that reaction can't happen, and oftentimes that pathway can get backed up. Usually we try to get magnesium through our diet. However, with our depletion of our soils and sometimes just our crappy diet, we often aren't getting enough, and it's often surprising how deficient we are in magnesium. Now, there's many forms of magnesium out there. There's your citrate, your oxides, your glycinate, your threonates. There's a lot. Usually I tend to stay away from the cheaper forms such as citrate and oxide and tend to want to go with a glycinate version or threonate version, especially when I'm working with symptoms like brain fog. Now, again, this is not an exhaustive list, and I haven't even really touched on the fact that we need to look at gut health, but that's a whole separate video. So if you would like to go deeper, if you would like to work with me or learn how to work with me, you can click down on the link below and you can learn how I might be able to help get to the bottom of your brain fog and some of those other symptoms. All right, I hope that this video was helpful. I hope that you learned something. So I will see you in the next video. Bye.